Hey guys, Low Grade Gamer here, and today we're going to talk about my disappointment in the fact that the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Lite version is not available for the Nintendo Switch. We've already proven that the Nintendo Switch is one of the top competing platforms of all time. The Nintendo Switch has far outsold the Nintendo Wii U in pretty much every way, and the fact that Bandai Toonami isn't supporting the Nintendo Switch is incredibly disappointing. There are a lot of players on the Nintendo Switch that would love to have just the trial version of Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2 Lite in order to potentially purchase it in the future. Why it's available on the Xbox One and the PS4 is unknown to me at this point, but I think the fact that it hasn't been released is a really disappointing fact for players of the Nintendo Switch. I've played the full version on the PS4 and have finished it and really enjoyed the Xenoverse 2 experience. The fact that they continue to release downloadable content for the progress that Dragon Ball's made in Dragon Ball Super. I've loved the Dragon Ball franchise ever since I was a kid. I've watched Dragon Ball, I've watched Dragon Ball Z, I've watched the less like Dragon Ball GT, and also have kept a strong presence on Dragon Ball Super as well, especially with Dragon Ball Super Broly coming out and actually making Broly canon. I thought that was absolutely awesome. And then to see the fact that it hasn't been released on the Switch is really disappointing. It is something that maybe we will see in the future, and I really hope that we do, because I'd love to start doing some videos on Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for the Switch. I do have PS4 and Xbox, etc., and I'd probably do a review using them, but at this point, the fact that it hasn't been released for the Switch, I don't really want to do anything. The channel is mainly Nintendo Switch based. So I didn't really want to deviate from that, and I don't really want to deviate from that because, as we know, the Switch does have some of those lower capabilities where it is unable to operate at the same frames per second, unable to operate at the same high definition capabilities as the PS4 and the Xbox. Either way, Xenoverse 2 is available on the Nintendo Switch, so clearly there's not an issue in relation to that. There has to be something underlying here, and it's just a really disappointing thing to see, that the fact that the Nintendo Switch doesn't have that same, I guess what you could say, view from these particular developers, in that it is as important as the Xbox and the PS4. I think in the past, Nintendo has really been seen as a, I guess you could say, younger person's product. You've seen the videos or advertisements for the Nintendo Wii U. To be honest, there was a lot of annoying little kids on there and that sort of thing. So they really did push that kid aspect. Whereas the Nintendo Switch, I think, has seen a complete different change in the demographic of who is actually using it. So to see the fact that a game like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Lite isn't available is really disappointing. So what I hope to see in the future, and I'm going to write to Nintendo about this myself, just to say, what are you doing to try and make this happen? Because at the end of the day, this all comes down to Nintendo as well. Nintendo's got to make sure that there is that support for some of the older players, and make sure that there is those different games available on the Nintendo Switch. The PS4 edition was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the gameplay. I really like that style of gameplay better than Fighter Z. I'm not a huge fan of that game. I just don't like the fighting aspect of it. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. It's an enjoyable game still. I just really like the gameplay of Xenoverse 2. I like the extra downloadable content that you've got on Xenoverse 2. Not that it's available for Fighter Z yet, but Xenoverse 2 has been around for a lot longer, and the downloadable content that is on there is awesome. The fact that they're continuing to support afterwards, including all the downloadable content for the Dragon Ball Super franchise and all those sorts of things. So, I mean, my fingers are crossed. I hope all of your fingers are crossed as well. But let's hope in the future that we do see that. If I see any updates, hear any updates, anything like that, I will be posting it on the channel. So please make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as soon as I hear anything, I'll make sure that I do release it to the fans, because I do really feel like it is something that is really important to see. I absolutely love the gameplay of Xenoverse 2, and I think it is fantastic. So no discrediting to the game at all. I think it is a really good game. I'm just disappointed in the fact that players aren't able to see that in the Xenoverse 2 Lite version. So thanks again for listening, guys. This is the Low Grade Gamer out, and I'll make sure that any update that I hear about the Switch in terms of Xenoverse 2 Lite is released. Thanks, guys.